In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to start making work fun again, because this recent journey I've been on, I've had the ability to actually make work fun, and it's something that I look forward to. As I'd say last year and the previous years, it was something I'd endlessly procrastinate and do the absolute minimum and not want to do it and get it done as fast as possible. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also give this video a like at any point that I create value. And if you have a question, drop it in the comments below. So let's first start what creates procrastination at work? And the simplest way to put it is all the cheap dopamine hits that you're taking. So essentially what this would be is like scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, messaging people or commenting on stuff because you're creating a bunch of like fake conversations and interactions. Scrolling's like fake travel in a sense, like you're able to go a million spots in about a minute. What else do we do is like we drink, caffeine before we work out or before we go to the gym. Listening to music is a great source of dopamine. So essentially like there's all these cheap hits of dopamine that bring us pleasure. And when we have those outside of work, whenever we're sitting and we're trying to work, what we're essentially doing is giving ourselves reasons not to work, because we're like, oh, when I'm scrolling, it makes me feel happy. When I eat processed foods at a fast food place for comfort to avoid doing work, it makes me feel good. Like we do all these things that essentially are helping us medicate or soothe our avoidance to what we need to get done, and we're getting another source of dopamine that is like a cheaper hit from it, right? And by that, what I mean is like it's like nicotine, caffeine, and scrolling. Porn's another one. Like there's just all these things that essentially like give you dopamine hits and make you feel good, but they essentially are the cheap hits that are very low quality. Whereas like hard work and essentially breaking down a goal step by step and achieving it gives you really good sources of dopamine, like a really good workout. Like it doesn't even have to be like killing yourself, but just working out's a great source of dopamine. But when you actually do these things that give you good sources of dopamine in containers and you apply them in your workday, it actually makes working fun. And not only that, it puts you in a flow state, and in that flow state, you're gonna get a lot of stuff done. So for instance, something that I've been doing that's been absolutely changing my life lately is I'm only allowing myself to have caffeine and music while I'm working. And this is crazy because if you're like me and you're somebody who essentially loves to shoot and doesn't like to edit, I cannot tell you how much fun I've had editing, and I'm giving myself reasons to work and edit so that I can play music and I can have caffeine, because I listen to a ton of music, and by not having music in any other space but work, like I start kind of craving it in a sense, and I'm like, let's get on music bed and find a song for the next video, and then that leads me into creating. And then if I want an energy drink or I want some coffee, I'm like, shh, I gotta work, so let's get to work. But it creates a space where if I want those things, I have to be working. But in a sense, it's created this really cool relationship that when I'm working, I'm having these things, and I feel the high like feelings of dopamine, and I'm in a flow state, and I'm having fun, and I'm like, it's almost created this sense. It's not like being addicted to work, but it's like having so much fun with what I'm doing in work that I highly enjoy it, that I really don't want to stop working. I just want to like really like get those goals going. And the coolest phenomenon of all this is like stuff that I've been putting off and procrastinating for so long has been getting knocked out one by one. And the best benefit of that is like it's clearing up my mind space. And it's just nice to continually get this stuff done and feel better about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is magical. And that's why I want to share it with you. It's like, it's endlessly helped me understand where I was seeking dopamine to avoid the work I was doing. And in avoiding the work I was doing, I was creating more stress and anxiety and problems instead of just knocking it out. But it wasn't intentional. It was all those cheap dopamine hits of like nicotine, of caffeine when I was working out or when I wasn't working, playing music everywhere, going on car rides just to hear music in the car. Like I didn't need to go to the grocery store and get stuff, but by golly, I could listen to music on the way there, and going out for a walk, but listening to music while I did it, like doing all these things that were distracting me and seeking the stuff that was giving me dopamine just to have some source of dopamine, but I was avoiding the main source work of dopamine where I could actually get a high quality amount of dopamine for doing stuff that was really good for me and decluttering, de-stressing my day. So guys, just to recap, allow yourself to have your vices during the workday and only allow yourself to have it in that time zone. And I mean, don't go overboard with this, but essentially like, music, nicotine, caffeine are, I'd say, a big three. If you're somebody who uses like marijuana or cannabis in order to like get into a really creative flow state, only allow yourself to have it when you're creating, whether it be shooting or editing videos, but make sure it is work related. Because on the back end of even somebody, my evenings used to essentially be 5 p.m. would hit and I'd be done with work, and then I'd have a beer, which would lead to 2 or 3. I'd smoke weed and get high, and then before you knew it, I was destroying my next day, winding down from the day. And it's like that wasn't, productive. But essentially what I'm saying with this is like, don't go overboard with what you're doing in your work zone and make sure it's not taken away from your next day. But allow yourself to experiment with what things do you really enjoy in life. How can you put them into your workday so that you can only have them when you're working, so that you're getting stuff done and you're able to enjoy it. But you're essentially knocking, two birds out with one stone here, in a sense of like, I can only have these when I'm working. When I'm working, I'm knocking out stuff that's decreasing my stress and anxiety. So then overall, like, you're going to enjoy what you're doing a lot more, and you're going to have a lot more fun with what you do, because you're going to reconnect back to your purpose in the whole process of it all. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to look for them in the comments below, or you can ask them now. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Peace out. See you next time.